And was the photographer situation, if that hadn't happened, because
I think it's fine.
A novel aspect of that was the celebration. I mean, were they like on their knees crying and jumping into the crowd, and also it was just there is a novel aspect to the photographer. So maybe
it was
if that
unfortunate.
Happened,
That's the defining image of it.
Okay.
Obviously, Arteta had gone buck wild, but like it was fine. I have no problem with that. That's fine.
Yeah, I think that's fine too.
But there will be an argument there that as part of the overall thing and over celebration, that it all does come from a manager losing the plot because they get a winner, or a likely winner 7 minutes from time or whatever. I would completely argue the other way. I think there's just awful, I don't know what it is, just this sort of miserly attitude towards people enjoying the sport, or enjoying the game that I don't quite understand. But I do think it all comes from this sort of like tyranny of seriousness that sort of football has. It's like Jamie Carragher would have been in dressing rooms where it's like, it's all about the next game. This idea of professionalism rather than actual professionalism.
Yeah, it's
you know what I mean? There's no Arsenal were back at training the next morning. There's nothing to say that they were there living on this.
Yeah.
If that turns out to be the case, fine. But actually celebrating on the pitch that evening with your fans, surely that's what we're there for.
I think Carragher's generation, I think Keane would agree with
Keane is the person who led it.
Yeah, they would absolutely associate professionalism with suffering.
Yeah.
Hold on now. Keane was on the pitch when Fergie went down on his knees with Brian Kidd. I appreciate it's a slightly bigger game. Did Fergie not run out as well?
That was 93.
All right, okay.
Keane didn't sign until that summer.
But Ferguson was big on the team celebrating goals. Really big on it.
The one slight difference is the one thing with the Arteta thing, and people are drawing the thing with the Klopp, the Everton thing. The Trossard goal was to make it 3-1. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a last-minute winner as such.
Yeah, but it sealed the
3-1 game. Sorry, I had it as the 2-1.
But sorry, it sealed the game.
It sealed the game, absolutely.
So
but
he was celebrating. We've done.
I would differentiate it from the Klopp one, or as you're saying, the Ferguson Kidd one in '93. Again, a different point of the season as well.
The photographer thing is a bit naff.
Naff is a good word for it. Yeah.
So I hesitate a touch, but I do think Arsenal, above all clubs, irritate these former pros more than most. Like, we were talking about Klopp last week, and you remember that 2-2 draw at West Brom, and he went down to the Kop and did the fist pump, which whenever he does it now, it's amazing.
Well, they're all doing it now.
We all love it. We think it's brilliant. So, like, you could argue, actually, there is something in celebrating in the way Arsenal celebrated, which is very helpful. Like, it does engender a feel-good factor, and, like, we're up and we're motoring and we're enjoying ourselves, and actually everyone bounces into training the next day.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say against is I appreciate the circumstances of it were massive for them. Yeah. But they have beaten Man City there this year, and for what it's worth, they bet Man United there this year in dramatic circumstances. Well, they're not like, it's not like they're unusual to get big results there.
No, but their season was a do or die.
It was, yeah.
They're out of the title race, and now they're back in it in their eyes.
Yeah.
So it was a huge game. But like, are they just honestly? What are they meant to do? There is that, like, and you should only. It's like you're borderline saying, and when you score a goal, just shake hands and walk back to the halfway line. Like, where does it end with them? They've got this, like, internal.
But the get down the tunnel stuff is nonsense.
Down the tunnel,
yeah. Because you're sending a message to you and your types that, like, we're serious. And look, to be honest, sometimes the moment might call for that, but I just want it to be real and natural. And if they wanted to celebrate that game, I just don't see how it says anything about Arsenal's future prospects. I think they wanted to feel that way. I think that on TV, when you're talking about it, you're looking for signs that, they thought too much of this. What happened was they probably went out there. It was a 50-50 game. If they could win it, they're in. If they don't, they don't. They're not 100% sure they could do it, and they went out and won the game. Big deal. It is. Everybody knows there's markers throughout the season. And this was a huge one for them. And even if it wasn't, they can still enjoy themselves without anybody criticising them.